Ilvermorny, the American School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Part 5. As I was saying, Isolt and James finally admitted they were in love instead of her threatening to obliviate him every day. They got married, and they considered the boys their adopted sons. Isolt told the boys about Hogwarts through the second-hand stories she had from Gormlaith, and they both yearned to attend the school, frequently asking why they could not return to Ireland where they could wait for their letters. Isolt didn't want to tell them about Gormlaith, however, and she instead promised that when they reached 11 years old, she would somehow find them wands, and they would start a school of magic right there at the cottage. They initially thought about naming the houses after themselves, but abandoned it quickly as Webster believed that a house called Webster Boot didn't really seem like it was ever going to win anything. Choosing instead to name the houses after their favorite creatures, they settled on the Thunderbird, the Wampus, the Puckwudgie, and the Horned Serpent. Chadwick's birthday was rapidly approaching, and Isolt still had no idea how to provide the wands that she had promised. As far as she knew, the wand she'd taken from Gormlaith was the only one in America. Not wanting to take that one apart to figure out how it worked, and knowing that the unicorn hair and the dragon heartstring in their parents' wands had already shriveled and died, she was at a loss for how to do this. Then, on the eve of Chadwick's birthday, she had a dream, where she went down to the creek and the horned serpent allowed her to take a long shard from its horn. Waking in the darkness, she did exactly that. The horned serpent was waiting for her there. It raised its head exactly as it had done in the dream. She took part of its horn, thanked it, then returned to the house and woke James, whose skill with stone and wood had already beautified the family cottage. When Chadwick woke the next day, it was to find a finely carved wand of prickly ash enclosing the horn of the serpent. Isolt and James had successfully created a wand of exceptional power. By the time Webster turned 11, the school's reputation was growing and more people had joined from around the area. By 1634, the school had grown beyond Isolt's family's wildest dreams. The house was expanding with every passing year, and more students had arrived, and while the school was still small, there were enough children to fulfill Webster's dream of inter-house competitions. The fame of the school, however, had managed to reach back across the sea, to Gormlaith, of course. At first, Gormlaith probably didn't think too much of it, but when she heard the name Ilvermorny, she knew exactly who had founded the school. She was, of course, furious, because not only had Isolt managed to travel all the way to America undetected, she had married not just a Muggle-born, but an actual Muggle, and opened a school that educated anybody with a shred of magic. Naturally, she began plotting her revenge. Having purchased a wand from Ollivanders to replace the wand that had been stolen, and not wanting Isolt to know that she was coming until the last possible second, she too disguised herself as a man to make the crossing to America. Wickedly, she traveled under the name of William Sayre, that of Isolt's murdered father. Landing in Virginia, she made her way toward Mount Greylock. Upon seeing the house, she sent a powerful curse at the building containing James and Isolt's names, which forced them into an enchanted slumber. Part 6 coming soon.